Good afternoon, Team MRJ. As we step into 2021 with a fresh start, I wanted to share with you why I love being part of this team and what my hopes are for this upcoming year. 2020 may be over, but some of the challenges still remain, and they will continue to affect us throughout this year. So, this is the perfect opportunity to look back with gratitude and look forward with passion. Passion is what drives us, personally, professionally, and oftentimes in such small ways that we don't even recognize it. A friend of mine recently said to me, "Shit, I bet you're glad the 2020 is over." I looked at her, virtually of course, and I said, 2020 taught me a lot about myself and how I want to be seen in this world. 2021 has to be about me acting on the things that I learned. She said, "But it was such a hard year for you at work. How can you be excited knowing the challenges that are still there? Remember when you cried for a whole week straight?" I said, "Yeah, you're right. It was an extremely stressful time for myself and for the rest of the world. And there were moments where I didn't know if I could keep going. But I did. We did. And I didn't do it for me. I did it for everyone at MRJ because they are what keep me pushing, even when it's super hard. You see, every day I wake up and I'm excited. I'm excited to see what new things you guys come up with, the ways which you genuinely care for your guests, how you help them perfect their skin, whether that's through a wax or lashes or a tan. And most importantly, I'm so proud to see how you all care for each other. Whether you know it or not, all of these things take passion. Our passions may not all be exactly the same, and that's totally okay. They don't have to be. But we do all need to have one thing in common: our desire to be the very best people we can be, both in and out of work. My passion for the people at MRJ, their growth, the learning, togetherness, that is what drives me. So even when it's hard, I remember that I'm here because I choose to be. I choose to be part of something bigger, something that, quite frankly, doesn't come along very often. Some of you know this. When I first started 5.5 years ago with MRJ, I almost walked out after the first week. A week. I had never even considered something like that before. And on the last day of the first week, I met Janessa and I got to talk to Tanner for more than a split second. I'll be honest, if we hadn't had that encounter, I probably wouldn't be sitting here. The way that they both spoke about MRJ, the future, their visions, the teamwork, it was super intriguing. The next week, I was standing in the parking lot of my first center, Chicago West Loop, with Christine, who was a new waxer that had recently started. In those few minutes outside, we had one of the most genuine conversations that I had had in a long time. She told me why she wanted to work here, how much she loved taking care of her guests, and loved her coworkers. Up until then, I was aware and really liked the empowerment that I was seeing, but at that moment, I saw what it could be, that we could grow and could still care genuinely for one another while running a business. A business doesn't have to mean a cookie-cutter, uncaring environment. Having spent my career up until then in corporate, male-dominated business, I suddenly realized that even my potential was limitless. I could make this what I wanted it to be. I carry this passion with me to this day. I love walking into a center and seeing how excited people are to see each other. I love being able to brag to other people in business and say, yeah, we don't have a lot of disagreements and fighting. These guys genuinely care for one another. At this point, most people would point out that we're majority women and that's impossible, to which I would point out that whoever said there's no emotion in business was clearly out of touch. It is that emotion, that passion that makes us successful. We are successful each day because we commit to each other to express ourselves in a professional way, work out our differences, and see new ideas form. We need that passion to keep going. We thrive on it. Our relentless will to fight together is how we survived 2020. We had to adjust, and for me, it was knowing that I needed to fight as hard as I possibly could for every person in this organization. I had to try to make sure that everyone was informed, checked on in some way, remembered the times that we were together. It was hard in many ways, but you are worth it. 2021 holds the promise of a renewed spirit, a moment to take the things that we learned to ourselves and put them into action. I learned that I need to be more vocal when I'm giving praise, and that is something that I'm committed to doing. I learned that we need to continue to diversify, learn about each other, different cultures, and hear the struggles. I'm committed to being part of the change and not sitting by. When I was in college, I had aspirations of being in politics because I thought that was the only way for me to make a difference. Throughout my time with MRJ, I've come to realize that by even helping or making a difference for one person is being part of the change. I commit to always fighting for us, in whatever form that is. We're excited to continue to develop our education and training, impact the world around us, and be leaders in our industry. This is why I'm so proud to announce that in 2021, MRJ will recognize Juneteenth as a holiday. We are some of the first in our industry, and we are confident that in order to see change, we need to be a part of it. So in 2021, be a badass leader. Challenge yourself and those around you to be better, and remember that each day is a new day. I'm probably going to mess up because I'm a human being. This is me, flaws and all. Sometimes I'm going to be out there. Sometimes I'll be down. But I'm always up for kicking down the door and being one of a kind. Who are we, MRJ? Like the song says, we are marching to the beat of our own drum. We will not let anyone or anything drag us down. We make no apologies. Be you every day because you are what make MRJ what it is, a family. So together, let's fearlessly march with unapologetic confidence into 2021.
When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. This is brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be. This is me.